best seat. I know the grandstands are great, but this is the view, and it's amazing.
Oh.
Okay, so the 9 of Chase Elliott won the race off the pit. Mark Truex Jr. looks as though he's going to start on the inside of row 1. Denny Hamlin will be on the outside of row 2. And Kevin Harvick will be on that inside line in row 2.
It was Kevin Harvick. We also have Kurt Busch up here with all these championship contenders. Let's see how they race these guys into turn 1.
Field now approaching the Geico restart zone as we get ready for the start of stage 2. Elliott able to clear the 19 of Truex Jr. Hamlin and Larson nose to tail, fighting for that 3rd spot. Kevin Harvick in there as well.
Larson going 3 wide in the middle. Harvick backed out, gaining room.
Seeing a little bit of urgency there in the 5 car, making that type of a move.
He drives like he knows his car is the best on new tires, Junior, right? Like he has to make time now. As the run goes, I feel like he gives up to the other cars.
1, 2, 3, 4 for the championship 4. This time led by Elliott.
Chase up
1, 2, 3, 4.
Truex trying to find a way around. Chase goes to the bottom of the racetrack. The 19 of Truex to the top. Martin's going to try to use momentum off the high side. And he closes in down the back straightaway, but he gives up so much time entering into the center of the corner, he's not able to try to make a pass. But right here, the 9's going to throttle up and drive away. Truex tried to drive in on the outside and hold him tight. Couldn't finish the corner. Eventually, if Martin is able to make speed up there, the 9 will eventually take that line away. Right now, everything's working on the bottom for Chase. I don't see him changing. He's going to get a lot of information from his spotter about where these guys are running, how they may be beating him. Right now, he doesn't need to change the things. He drives away from Truex.
Foreshadowing, you look towards the end of the race, and you see the 4 drivers all on the same tires, more or less, as far as the amount of wear on them. And Chase Elliott pulling away right now from the other 3.
We're starting to have a little bit of a signature to each car's strengths and weaknesses. And now the challenge for a crew chief, as you see both Chase Elliott and Martin Truex Jr. going to work, is if you're James Small, you just drove to the lead, won the stage, you got probably the best long-run car here. Driver likes the way it drives. Do you make adjustments for the short run? Because then, if you make adjustments, you don't improve the short run, you hurt the long run, now you've taken away a strength of your car. So that's kind of the debate some of these crew chiefs have to make now. When I say make adjustments, you know, to make it better on the short run, it usually needs to be a little tighter, balance-wise, maybe a little bit different air pressure. Those are the types of things that are...
Video on.
You got to go back up on the racetrack to get the angle right, and you don't know where the guy is. You're just hoping he's going to give you room.
Is it in the back of your mind? The 4 and the 9, side by side.
Here we go. Green flag back out here in Central, the desert.
9 with a great launch. And we'll
So we want to go cuss to the bottom of the racetrack.
Kyle Larson.
5 wide, maybe
19 on the bottom got really slow. Stacked up behind him. This is really important for Martin Truex Jr. We know he has a long-run car, but he can't give up so much room.
Chase Briscoe in the 14 falling back quickly. Chase Briscoe leading right now the Rookie of the Year competition between he and Anthony Alfredo. Look at this close call.
Oh my goodness.
And Blaney on the outside. I mean, this gets so tight. Here he comes. This is what is really important, in my opinion, for Martin Truex Jr. If he's going to win this race in the championship, what kind of race do we get? Do we get a long run? Do we get a short run? for him to win, he needs to maybe work on making his car drive better, taking off. This is a great opportunity to make a change and see if it works.
Well, if I'm James Small, I'm getting off the pit box and having up my pit crew. Because I agree with what you're saying with car judgments, Jeff, but the other thing this 19 has to do is stay within touch with the Hendrick cars. You can't spot them spots on the pit road, then spot them 2 more on a restart and just assume your driver is going to continue to drive to the front. That's a lot of wear and tear in the car.
And we saw now the racetrack, there's not a ton of sun on it, but the turns 3 and 4.
Well, lap 64 out of 105
it's going to be shaded.
The complete 4
that's going to
races
change
on
this
the top of
racetrack.
the where
It's going to change who's fast, whose car's
140
working
of
best.
312 laps. Oh, Ricky Stenhouse in the roll hard.
The 47 car Stenhouse broke the right front suspension with the contact.
Oh boy.
It's probably going to end the day for him.
Yeah, he just went into turn 3 and the car went straight. That left front tire, as you pointed, being
So it puts you in a bad situation. You get to choose, you know, kind of how
Alright,
you
Carl makes a Chase Elliott.
and control your destiny.
And Kevin Harvick, Chase Elliott, Kevin Harvick side by side on a restart.
Field once again approaching the Geico restart
Zone.
zone.
They're in the gas. We're back green here at Phoenix for the championship.
And Larson back there in row 2, a great restart.
This
Pushing the
something big's
4
gonna
into
happen.
turn 1 now. And the 9 up high.
My goodness, look at all of that going on behind these guys. Back in the pack, 4 wide,
5 wide.
fumbling onto the back straightaway. Just doesn't
Harvick
seem
trying
like
to
it
challenge
works.
Harvick. Harvick trying to challenge Kyle Larson for 3rd.
Oh, that's not look where he is, back in the pack. That's not where you want to be in the middle of the crazy restarts. Easy to get your car damaged.
And as we get further into this race, those restarts will get more intense because the drivers will have more urgency, less likely to give and take. Oh, little contact there with the 12. He's on the outside corner panel of the 4. Like Harvick knew he was there, was trying to clear himself a little bit. Was able to make the pass or keep the position.
Now
You
Truex.
mentioned the 4 and the 12, 2
Third.
Fords.
You see the
It's been
championship
well
drivers
documented,
first,
Kevin
second,
Harvick,
third,
went
and
a year
8th.
ago, no wins this year, but I really think it's been a struggle for most of the Ford camp. I mean, it came to Phoenix, the only opportunity to win a championship was with Austin Cindric in the Xfinity Series. They had no cars advance, although 3 Team
Matthew
Penske cars
Benedetto having a
made
solid run
the
in this
round, and
final
they
half
none
in
were
the
able to make the
Brothers 21
championship
car.
Harvick trying to hold off Blaney now as
Kinda
he
hold
runs in
off
the 4th
the
position to get
12
another
around
playoff drive.
Blaney.
Benedetto, William Byron.
I just want Matthew Benedetto to have a good
right
season.
now in non-playoff drivers.
So Denny Hamlin back here, Eric Almirola trying to get underneath him. These two have been going at it. Denny's car is not exactly where he wants it to be right now.
Oh, way out of gas.
These fired off over the which traffic just oncoming. We just cannot keep losing so many spots here. Yeah, they're on. Believe me, we'll get it.
I'm at 75 out of 115 in stage 2.
There's nothing wrong with the car. It's just getting back behind all this. And it's very difficult to maneuver where you want. He's like, guys, we've got to fix these pit stops. Lost 4 spots in our last stop. Just can't keep giving it up. Parker.
Matthew Benedetto still working with
Clear here as we
24
have more restarts.
cars.
Is where you want to be in relation to that choose. We'll take over the rest of the
Come on, hit the table, guys.
Into the restart lane. Stick with, I imagine he would be second car inside. What do you think third car outside would be better? No, I'm not giving up a row. Careful.
And that's the key. I'm not giving up a row from Earth Truck. So he was thinking maybe, or the team was thinking maybe he wanted to be on the outside. That's where he was making a lot of time early in the race. But he has noted he doesn't want to give up a row at all in any position because he thinks he can make him up. And he dies on the bottom there on Kyle Larson.
A great bottom battle
To the
of
bottom.
19 and 5. Give up a
Bottom of the
row.
racetrack.
Remember, as they choose, we just went over the choose rule. Everybody loves the top. So Truex says, well, man, if I can move up an entire row, 2 positions to go to the bottom, I know that's the non-preferred lane, I'd rather be there. I mean, he is a big fan of the choose rule because a week ago at Martinsville, we were coming to that late race restart, and everybody chose the bottom, and he get to move up 2 spots on the outside. That was the 2 points that he needed. It took a lot of pressure off of those closing laps to advance.
And as Truex tries to
That's
make
Samir,
pass on his 5 car, the
115,
Harvick closes in, as well as the
112.
12 back there. Blaney kind of takes a few tools out of the toolbox for the 19. He has to all of a sudden start being a little more defensive about his line. This opportunity to dive to the bottom, he can't quite do that as much because of the potential of 4 cars jumping to his outside quarter panel. He's going to have to make this pass quickly without, maybe losing a position to Harvick. Marty, what you got on the 5 car out here?
Well, same song, different brothers.
Oh, Chase Briscoe on the wall.
Turns 3 and 4.
Chase Briscoe on the 14 into the wall. Backed it in there. You see the damage to the left rear.
Oh, yeah,
Oh my goodness, it may have been a brake
He was running
issue.
12th.
Hard lick right
Oh
there.
my goodness. May have been a brake
Disappointing for
issue.
Chase Briscoe having a solid run today. It's been a
Leading
struggle.
the
So
Rookie
hard
of
for
the
these
Year
young drivers
standings.
without practice to get into a rhythm. Let's go back and see what happened to Chase.
On the racetrack, Reddick, Kurt Busch, Bowman, and Suarez all stayed on the racetrack.
Alright guys, we're going to restart on lap 85 out of 115 laps in stage 2. From Kurt Busch, Tyler Reddick, Kyle Larson, Alex Bowman, Chase Elliott, Daniel Suarez are all in the front row.
Old tires on the outside lane.
Here we go to the restart zone. Back under green. Here are Phoenix for the championship race.
Reddick and Kurt Busch back up to the gears, and Chase Elliott quick to the inside. Here comes Kyle Larson as well. Larson jumps up to the lead.
Go!
It was like a river of playoff drivers to the bottom. Impressive by both the
Almost contact between the 2 leaders.
Contact was made. We saw the 9 wiggling around as the 11 and 19 are fighting back here for position as well.
And he did a great job working himself through those slower cars in the outside lane. He went to the middle. Now he's taking the fight to Truex, hoping to catch Truex behind the 1 car. Use Kurt Busch as a pick right here. Clears him.
Truex falling in behind the 1 now as the 11 of Denny Hamlin goes below the 1 of Kurt Busch and clears him. It looks as though the 19 will do the same.
Look at this. This was insane. Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, all trying to fight for the lead.
That was close. It's sorted out. The Gibbs guys continue to battle behind him.
Oh, Logano. Oh, not Tyler Reddick almost got together.
Stage 2.
Time after time we come here and see the performance of the championship 4, and once again they're running first, second, third, fourth on the racetrack.
Past halfway of the race. So the season winding down. Less than half a race remaining. And
I want this season to wind down, but we'll start a new season next year with the new Gen 6 or the
no
new
one has
Gen
stood out.
Gen
We
7
see Mark
cars
Truex Jr. on the
for the
longer
Daytona
runs get up front, but
500.
now it's Kyle Larson on the
And now
short
we got to
run.
fight for the lead between the 2 Hendrick cars.
As Chase Elliott right on his back bumper.
It just screams kind of execution, guys, right? I'm not sure anyone is just so head and shoulders above one another that they can...
Oh, Larson.
Man, that made me nervous. I was saying that you can kind of overperform. I think it's going to come down to execution, perhaps. Who makes the mistake? It costs them.
Here comes Chase Elliott to the bottom of the racetrack.
Kyle Larson, if he can get to his rear bumper, get to that rear quarter panel, get that car loose. Larson did a great job of
24
clearing him off
laps
of
to go in
turn
stage 2.
4. Now Chase Elliott's going to try to get right to that rear bumper.
Oh,
See right
my
there, that makes
goodness.
the 5 car wiggle around a little bit, takes some air off that spoiler, gets him loose. Chase Elliott knows he's got to keep doing it.
He's putting the pressure on him.
Larson out of the high side here. Moves up the track a little bit.
Up the track goes to
Should have
5.
a good run off
to
the
the
corner
bottom.
exit there to stretch that out. Maybe a car length and a half by the time we get to turn 1.
Throughout the entire season, Chase Elliott, the reigning champion, and he's had to watch his teammate Kyle Larson go out and win 9 races and be the dominant car all season.
Well, I understand there's a watch party for Hendrick Motorsports back in North Carolina. Rick Hendrick here on premise. They all have to be nervous when they see their 2 championship entries. I would say inches apart, but I think they were actually touching. We'll call that contact between the 2. But now,
Complete lap. Complete lap 169 at
and gets
312.
this type of a lead into 1, it allows him to do what he's doing right now. Move around the
Larson to
racetrack.
the top, to the bottom.
And see if he can find some pace and speed so that he can keep that 9 car off his rear bumper exiting turn 2. And he's done that. He's moved up the racetrack. racetrack,
to go in stage 2.
sort of normalized and equaled the speed or the pace of the 9 car.
He's going to have to beat Kyle Larson, where Kyle Larson has been great all year long, and Chase Elliott has not. Chase Elliott has not won an oval race since this race last year where he won the championship. So if he's going to beat Kyle Larson or the rest of the guys who win this, he's going to have to step his game up today and do something he hasn't done in over
Rick
a year.
Hendrick, the owner of Hendrick Motorsports, to 5, 48, 24 to 9.
Of rallying people around him. He builds relationships with his employees from the top of the business all the way to the bottom, and they are motivated to go to battle for him, to go to work and please him.
Look at Chase Elliott to the bottom lane.
They want to get a pat on the back from that man.
And the championship forward are 1, 2, 3, and 4. Those are the championship four drivers are 1 through 4. Here at Phoenix, who will be the 2021 NASCAR Cup Series champion? Here at Phoenix.
You know, an ally in the group.
And they run up against the wall that hard. Off a turn
Slide there at the 9.
4.
Chase Elliott loses a couple spots.
And now we're going to take a quick commercial break.
NASCAR nonstop.
We're going non-stop here at Phoenix.
Check that out.
And our recording is on.
The body on these race cars at least a little bit, especially that's a critical area on the regular quarter panel for side force and down force.
Way back on lap 2, Chase Elliott had the fastest lap, the Xfinity fastest lap. Averaged around this 1 mile racetrack over 134 miles per hour.
More like first through 4.
Interesting to watch these two run. You know, you'd think as the run gets longer, both of them will migrate to the top of the racetrack, but Chase is still working the bottom of the racetrack. Even down on this end, he's still rolling the bottom of turn 1 and 2, and that tells me that maybe the resin is neutralizing a little bit. Maybe it's losing a little bit of that advantage that we see.
6 laps to go in stage 2. Elliott trying to close the gap.
Trucks Xfinity, everybody would end up there. Maybe some of the grip and the speed and pace is starting to go away with that high side as we get through this race.
Sorry guys, I'm
And this race is
battery
going
on
quickly. 5
20%.
laps remaining in stage 2. As up the track, Larson goes once again, and Elliott stays right there at the bottom of the racetrack. And the gap stays about the same, 0.3 of a second separating the two.
You can see a little bit of a fade in the darkness of the high groove, where everyone has ran right on the edge of it, right on the lower side of that resin. It's faded a little bit like it's wearing away. You may, as a driver, search a little bit higher to see if you can find some place on the racetrack higher that cars haven't used. But it's going to be a little bit dirty up there.
You mentioned the contact between Chase Elliott and the 5 and the quarter panel of the 5 getting bent down.
Oh my goodness.
Got flared out, got rid of the back, and pushed that right rear out. That is spectacular for the 5 car. That is what gets called good fortune, right? I mean, he got ran into by his teammate. Nothing you want to see happen over the course of the race. You hope it goes the right direction. And today, it went the right way.
And the way you want to look at that as a fan, the rear spoiler on the car adds downforce. That's like a spoiler on the side of the car now. Adding side force, increasing how he can drive this car into the corner, how much deeper he can lean on this car and swing the back. He has an advantage aerodynamically that his teammate does not.
So let's ride along with Kyle Larson on top of this can, on top of the roof, and I want you to start paying attention to something. The sun is setting. So into turn 3, they dealt with this in qualifying yesterday. Look at the glare. So right now the drivers is going to get very difficult. See the glare on the racetrack right there? You cannot see that yellow line. It's going to get worse for a little while as that sun continues to set. The drivers are going to have to start looking.
Now just a follow up in stage 2. Ken Collinson wins stage 2 and wins his first ever NASCAR Cup Series championship.
And Larson, it has been his stage. He's led 32 laps, going on the 33rd lap, which is the final lap of stage 2.
Now down the back straightaway.
Kyle Larson, talk about he and his crew chief, Cliff Daniels. Well, things have clicked for them.
And off of turn 4, and Kyle Larson will win stage 2.
Now he has the advantage over the other Championship 4 drivers.
First through 4 is the Championship 4.
All 4 of the Championship 4 drivers finishing in the top 4 that time.
Oh, about that.
Still up there in contention, Blaney, Harvick, Keselowski, Kyle Busch, Logano, and William Byron. They round out the top 10 in stage 2. The pit crew.
Come on, Kyle, win the championship! Sorry, guys, I had to do that.
Lines up.
All right, guys, we're on the final stage.
Joe Gibbs Racing in row 2.
Championship 4 hold their spots.
Larson and Elliott on the high line, low line. Then it's
I picked Kyle Larson to win the championship. Who do you guys predict to win this championship?
high line, low line, row 2.
116 laps to go.
Busch in the 18 minutes.
Here we go. Green flag back out here in the desert of Phoenix.
It's the final stage of the 2021
And look at him, fan out 345 wide on the apron.
Chase Elliott did not get a great launch on that restart.
Look at this shot right here. This is incredible camera angle.
Chase still cleared him in 3 and 4. 1 and 2.
Oh my.
And not a great start for the 19 of Mark Truex Jr. Right now, Harvick on his outside trying to take 4th away.
That's going to be hard to do. Harvick's going to fight hard.
Oh my goodness, Marlon bringing the Marlon racetrack.
Launches forward. But again, side by side into turn 1.
Now he uses the apron all the way to the apron.
Trying to go the shorter distance, is able to use that to his advantage and take the spot.
Kills his exit speed, but it's okay. He gained the position that he needed to gain. His track position, and now he's blocked down the back straightaway. Now he's off and rolling.
Crazy once they keep going.
Best Hendrick cars are driving away from Denny Hamlin, put a little bit of distance between themselves.
My question is,
Short run
when
speed in this
is going
11 car
to be the
may
next
be
car
to
to come out?
If we get late yellows,
But now, with track position, he's able to gauge himself and understand where
We
there's
saw a lot of cautions today.
He's having bad pit stops, and he
My
was not
question is,
restarting near them.
will
He
there
didn't
be
know.
another car
He just
coming
knew
out?
they were
Or
faster, but he
will
didn't
we
know
stay
where.
good the
Now,
whole
as a
way?
driver, you can start understanding. Okay, crew chief, here's what
Come on,
I need.
there's
The
gonna be
changes
the
I
caution
need to
on
be
the
done
mount.
for the short run.
Well, you may only get one shot at those changes. 112 laps to go. Every car will have to make a trip to pit road for fuel. They cannot make it to the finish. Maybe more than one trip if the tires are important to get some yellows. But if this ran green, one green flag pit stop still required to finish the race.
Denny has company with his teammate Mark Truex Jr. We're going to ride on the roof of the 19 car with Toyota Camry. Watch the balance of this 11 car. See what Denny's struggling with. Obviously not happy with the car right this minute. They both dive down in the bottom of turn 3 and 4. Truex tries to get in the gas a little too soon. Cost him a little bit of time here on corner exit to the flag stand.
See how they put those two tires on the
Along
bottom
with
of the
these two,
racetrack.
the two in front of them are getting smaller. The Hendrick Motorsports cars pulling away. Now Martin looking to the inside of Hamlin.
Oh my goodness.
Hamlin's going to use that high side momentum and really make Mark work for this position on the bottom of the racetrack.
In NASCAR racing, if you're a tenth of a second off in a lap, that's a fair amount. Well, Denny Hamlin right here is 3/10 of a second off of the two Hendrick teammates in front of him.
And speed in Larson and Chase's car. 27-16, 27-25 behind them. The two Gibbs cars, both 27-50s.
You mentioned what a dominant season it has been for the 5 of Kyle Larson. Well, really, the whole organization of Hendrick Motorsports, they have led over 4,000 laps
Holy
this year.
cow,
The last time a team
400,000
led more
laps.
laps than Hendrick Motorsports has led this season was back when Junior Johnson was fielding teams back in 1972, so 50
Wow.
years. A long time since teams have been able to put together what Hendrick has done this year.
And I bet Larson's led half of those, if not more.
Well, remember,
Look at that fender. Look how it's still sticking out, and it's helping this 5 car.
We're so used to seeing this team dominate and win championships, and they were not anywhere near it, and that is completely flipped. They now have gone back to the Hendrick Motorsports that we know they can lead races, win races, and win championships.
And while you want to give credit to them, and they deserve it, you also got to give credit to the manufacturer Chevrolet. They did not have a great race car. Several
It's
years
still
ago,
1, 2, 3, 4,
they
all
reinvented
championship Florida
themselves
drivers
and
in
improved their
first to
product.
4th.
They brought a better race car for all of their teams to the racetrack, Marty.
And how about this pace out of the Hendrick Motorsports cars and the Chevys up front? And we've talked about Kyle Larson all day long. Really good on the short run, maybe not so good on the long run, but does the opportunity to work on the car several times, maybe pay an advantage for the 5. Listen to what Cliff Daniels thinks.
Make sure to just run your lane, run your line. You did a good job holding him off the last time when he was pressuring you there, and I know that we're going to be better than those guys on the long run now. We have plenty of opportunities to work on our car. We're going to have it better for you. Okay.
So, Steve, sometimes when you have a car that's kind of off in the first of the race, you get more opportunities to take big swings at it.
105 laps to go, 208 out of 312 in the final stage.
Cars this year, Rick, but adjustments throughout the race matter each and every week.
Let's go NASCAR nonstop. Listen back.
Check that out. Internet that's one step.
The record button. Here we go.
The championship. Aggressive Larson to the bottom of the racetrack.
Oh my goodness.
He's going to have a lot of company on the outside. Look at the momentum lost down the back straightaway.
The 2 Hendrick cars are stuck behind the 2 Penske cars. And as they are, the 2 Gibbs cars drive away from them.
Chase Elliott making some quick work here, though. Getting on the outside of the 22 back there for 4th. He's going to take that position away now. Tries to figure out a way to put a position or make a position on this 12 car as quickly as he possibly can. You talked about the short run speed. You got to take advantage of it while you got it. You got about 25 laps till we see the Gibbs cars cycle to the advantage in lap time.
Just a huge change in momentum here. We know that clean air, I don't care what size the racetrack is, clean air helps. That's going to make these 2 cars that have been slower on short runs, it's going to help them some. I don't know if they're going to have enough speed to hold Chase Elliott off, but even if Chase gets by him, they're so much closer to him than they have been, it will not take them as long for the switch and that long run car to have a major advantage.
Spotter of the 9. Coaching his drivers, stay aggressive.
We heard at the beginning of the show, Mark Truex Jr., when he was chatting with the guys on pit road, he said, nobody can out-scrap us. Well, Mark Truex Jr. right now in this team, after a couple poor pit stops to start the race, they have now put it all together and a little bit of luck on pit road. When they're on pit road, and the caution comes out, they start up front. Now, can they hang on to it? Can they stay out front? Can he win a second championship here in the Cup Series?
And Denny has moved around a little bit. He's went to the top of the racetrack to try to find some speed and some clean air to be able to track down the 19 car. It's allowed the 9 car, though, to have a little bit of room to run where he likes to run, where his cars get fast all day long on the bottom of the racetrack, Steve.
And now you're going to see he goes to the bottom. You know what's surprising, Dale, is that
I forgot that Denny and Chase have history
he's done a
together.
pretty good job for a long-run car holding off the 9 in that dirty area you talked about, right? So I'm not sure if he wants to be top or bottom as he searches for clean air, though. It's a big advantage to the 9. It leaves him the bottom of the racetrack.
Well, that's exactly right. When you see clean air matters, that 19 car, when he goes to the bottom of the racetrack and the 11 stays to the top like he did in 1 and 2, that's a major advantage to the 11 car.
The car we don't see in this shot is a 5 car of Larson. Quite a ways back behind these guys.
Now for
Not able to squeeze up through there and get through the traffic like the 9 car did. And as this track cools off, you see the shade. It's going to tighten up.
Looking for a second.
Struggled with a tight race car late in the run. You have to wonder if they're freeing this car up enough for him to continue to be competitive late in this race.
And this right here, Chase Elliott having to run the bottom, trying to get by Denny Hamlin. That's harder on his tires than if he can run wherever he wants to.
And Jeff, we saw the 9 able to pass the 5 by running that lower line. He was making it work early. Is this an advantageous line for the 9 to be able to run that well down low?
Well, I think that's where he wants to be. He's been there all day long. The problem is that you see Denny Hamlin right there running the top. He's been doing that all day long, and we know that his car is very good on a long run, so that makes me believe that this top...
Obviously, there's 3 all day in the short run, but they
shut
can
my
use
hole with the
the
phone.
the 5 was the whole time.
Number Remember, you guys said it grew up Mortgage Keys to Victory Lane. No mistake.
Alright, here we go.
Denny Hamlin can't go below the yellow line before the start-finish line on this restart.
It's like actually an Xfinity race.
He can't cut that corner
Here
too
we
soon.
go.
That's a great launch from the 5 so far.
Come on, Kyle.
The 5 surging out
4 to
front.
go.
And Truex cleared Hamlin. He's going to do it.
Come
It all
on,
started.
Larson.
Hamlin did not get the launch he needed. Now Truex is in second.
You think so?
Larson, Truex, Hamlin, and Elliott. The championship 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 23 laps to go.
Come on, Kyle.
Truex closed in quite a bit.
Come on, Kyle.
Again, he's closing in a little bit on this 5 car, right? Within a couple car lengths down the back straightaway.
Here comes the 9 as well. Looking at the inside.
Here comes the
of
9.
Chase Elliott trying to take third away.
Hamlin's going to fight hard up top. There's grip up top, but shorter way around the racetrack. New tires. Chase Elliott going to. I thought he'd shortcut that back straightaway more than he did.
Battle for the lead. Battle for third.
The 19 not letting the 5 get away.
Oh, the 19 had to get off the gas a little bit, up off the corner there. Now he goes back on the attack into turn 3.
22 laps to
Truex,
go.
perhaps the best long run car in the bunch all day. So the key here, obviously try to pass him if you can, but stay as close as possible. If your car comes in, if the tires feel great with 5 or 7 to go, you have to have him close as he climbs the banking up to that tricky area trying to get a run off the corner.
I'm surprised Truex was able to stay that close
Oh my God.
to Larson those first few laps.
It's getting close.
Larson up the racetrack a little bit. Truex right on that yellow line. Parker.
And Jeff James Paul came on the radio just before they restarted and told Martin this should take off better. That tells me I think they pumped up the air pressure a little bit on that 19 to be better here on the short run. Giving your driver a chance. I love it. We talked at the beginning of the show about the experience on top of the pit box. Kyle Larson, James Small. Kyle Larson leading James Small, the crew chief for Truex, says, I got to give my driver a chance. Something to catch this fast number 5 car, and he's done it. The 19
Come on,
is there.
Kyle, hold
It's
on to
so
19.
good here, turn 3 and 4. Pretty equal in 1 and 2.
One more for at least 19 more laps.
Here in his line. A lot of options in this corner.
The pressure as high as it's ever been. Now, under 19 laps to go. The fight for the lead in the championship. Larson has it. Truex Jr. is bringing it to him.
Larson, he runs up the racetrack a little bit. That gives Truex what he wants in the bottom, clean air. I think Larson's going to have to change his lane down here.
He's going to have to.
Now into turn 1, he may be able to upset the back of his car.
We got to get into CC1 off of forward.
Well, there you go. That was what you just talked about, Jeff. Truex run the high side there. Let's see how he enjoyed that. If he goes back and does that again in turn 1 and 2, still using the bottom down here, making some good time. The 5 though, up the racetrack, like you said, Jeff.
17 laps to go.
And look at the run down the front straightaway. He goes back to 2, 3 car lengths of the lead. Now he's going to change his line. He saw the 19 run the high side.
Here comes Martin. Oh my
That was
goodness.
so close. I thought they were going to make contact right there. Larson now way up the track. Getting all the way up into that rip part.
Larson and Truex. Now 7/10 of a
16 laps
second
to
in
go.
front of Elliott, who's
Getting
up to
close.
third. Denny Hamlin back to 4th.
Yeah, Chase is closing in a little bit on these 2.
All right, let's go. There's a party here. 15 to go at the line, one.
Chase Elliott's radio. Just trying to cheerlead that driver.
He's like, I'm going, man. I promise.
Get up into the party.
You heard that adjustments by the 19 to
Look
take
who's
off
not in the
better.
picture.
He
It is the
definitely
11,
did. He
Denny
hung with the
Hamlin.
5,
He's not in the picture.
But nothing is free. If you make an adjustment to make your car fire off, does it hurt the 19 on the long run? 15 to go, we will find out.
Yeah, they set the air pressures in these cars to reach a target on the long run. If you set those pressures higher, you will exceed that target and then, in turn, lose a little bit of grip on the other end of the run. Has he gotten to that point yet?
Behind these guys, we talk about Chase Elliott's speed. Well, Denny Hamlin He is searching everywhere. Last time through 3 and 4, a full car width higher than ever.
Oh,
Look at this.
way up there, way up high.
Anyone down in 1 or 2. It's time to put every chip you've got to the middle of the table.
Look at you cannot see into turn 1. It's gotten very difficult. Hamlin pushing the issue on his entries. At this point, though, it's either get there or if I wreck this car, so what? You're just not going to get there for fourth if you don't try something extraordinary.
He's done some good work here trying to catch this 9 car.
Larson is starting to pull away just a little bit.
Off of turn 2. He's going to have a great run down the straightaway. Can't see a thing.
Yeah, he's faster than Truex, Elliott, and Larson, or Hamlin.
Hard into the gas right there. You see him committing to the throttle. Leading this race.
Larson winding down.
The temperature
I don't want another caution. I really don't want another
really
caution.
Aggressive. He's right here on the back bumper of Chase Elliott. And he carried it in there. You hear the debris flying off of the tires into the wheel wells, way up the racetrack into the dirt.
Big run here.
Here comes the 11. Oh, gets out the gas.
They enter turn 3.
You hear him hammering that throttle, trying to get the car to turn. Get the rear tires hooked up at the same time. It's working for him, this high line. He's got to get by Elliott quickly if he's got any shot at all. Here he is. Big move right here.
Coming to 10 laps to go. He's going to have the speed and the momentum.
Oh, Chase!
Has to get in the rear. He had too much of a run for Elliott to block that.
Hamlin makes his way up to 3rd.
Great work by Denny Hamlin.
Chase is struggling with turn or something.
Oh, Chase getting sideways off of turn 4. He's got to let the 11 go.
Under 10 to go. Is it enough time for Hamlin to close the gap? He's 1.7 seconds behind Larson.
Come on, Kyle. Come on,
He's now
Kyle.
running that high entry. And
10 laps to go. I just don't think Denny has a chance to get there.
Larson about 0.8 of a second in front of Mark Truex Jr. And then the hard-charging 11 of Denny Hamlin trying to close the gap.
That time by
9
the
laps
fastest
to
car
go.
at the front
Come on,
four,
Kyle.
Truex, but just barely.
The sun setting on the racetrack and the season. Kyle Larson has put together the best season of all of the Championship 4 drivers with 9 wins, looking for his 10th.
And laps are beginning to unravel.
Now 8 laps to go.
8 laps to go.
Truex again, the
9
fastest
wins in the
car.
last 35 starts this season. 6 wins in the
Is
first
there enough
something
time?
starts.
Well, Jeff mentioned it, right? We get long enough on these tires that you just lose big chunks of speed quickly. You wonder if that's going to affect any of these 4 in these closing laps.
3 laps to
He's
go.
got to put a nice distance on Chase Elliott.
Come on, Kyle.
Without a
Come
caution,
on,
his
Kyle.
hopes of
Come on,
another
Kyle.
championship have all but evaporated here.
Larson.
Trying to go back to
Truex
back.
is a little bit faster.
As we see the speeds of the line, Hamlin the fastest. Then Larson, Truex Jr., the top 3.
It's only
Hamlin's
7
going
laps
to
to
relive this
go.
restart for quite some time as he's not able to get up there.
The blinding light as they go into turn 3. Coming up on 6 to go.
Kyle Larson sitting here with the lead. His pit crew. The
6
second fastest
laps
stop of
to
the
go.
year. And the key moment got him in this position.
To a 19.8. It's going to be 5 at the line. Keep it smooth.
No
Now
mistakes.
they're gaining him, they're gaining the lead. Now he's got to go do his job. And trust me, they believe he can. That team believes so much in Kyle Larson. And what
I see you. You better be clean, boy.
Kyle Larson. You see the emotions hitting him now.
The champion.
Kyle Larson has won over 300 times since he started racing. but this is just the third time he's ever been a champion.
2014 Rookie of the Year.
Flag's kind of heavy.
I got that on video for sure. Oh!
There went the tires, there went the flag.
He lost the flag. Oh boy.
He's going to burn it down all the way along the grandstands, and then maybe he's going to see how far he can make it, if he can make it a lap.
If
He might want to go back to go grab that flag. I look what he is.
Championship effort right there. A+. What a battle. What an absolute battle. We talk about how much of a team sport this
Oh,
is.
you
We
can see the
celebrate
carcass
spotlight
of
the
it.
drivers, but I don't think I've ever seen a championship won by the entire group. That pit stop, as Kyle mentioned, made a difference.
And as you mentioned, Steve, winning the pole. He won the pole. That's the first choice of pit selection. They took the number one stall.
Oh my
It was an
God.
advantage. The pit crew shined. They got him out first. He took advantage of it. He stayed up front. And now he's the 2021 NASCAR Cup Series champion. You heard Cliff Daniels say, "You are a champion." And Kyle right away said, "No, we are champions." Right.
Here he is, climbing out of the car, celebrating with his team.
Oh, and they went to go grab the flag.
Congratulations.
Luckily they did.
You are a Cup Series champion.
I'm going to drink here real quick. I cannot believe it. I don't even think I'd be racing a Cup car a year and a half ago. And to win a championship is crazy. I gotta say, first off, thank you so much to Rick Hendrick, HendrickCars.com, Jeff Gordon, NASCAR, every single one of my supporters in the stands, watching at home, my family. I've got so many of my friends and family here, my parents, my sister, my wife and kids. Owen had been giving me crap a month and a half ago about how I can't win a Cup race when he's there. So that added a lot of pressure, but there were so many points of this race where I did not think that we were going to win. And without my pit crew on that last stop, we would not be standing right here. So they're the true winners of this race. They're true champions. I'm just blessed to be a part of this group. Every single man or person, man and woman at Hendrick Motorsports, this win is for all of us and every one of you. So
This is unbelievable. I'm speechless.
When you crossed the finish line with those tears in your eyes, did you think about that day your dad brought that go-kart home without telling your mom, and that moment led to this?
I had a lot of thoughts there those last, really since before intros, right before intros, like it all hit me, and I had tears running down my face just doing the ride around. You know, the crowd was cheering loud, and it was just a different atmosphere than I've ever been a part of. So this event was crazy. This format's wild. I'm glad we were able to get it done. And yes, you know, a big shout out to my parents for getting me involved in racing. My dad for everything he did, building my go-kart when I was young to get me playing around. My mom for videotaping every lap I ever raced and give me something I can look at and study and get better. Gosh, so cool. I cannot believe it.
Congratulations, you are a NASCAR Cup Series champion.
Thank you. Thanks again, all you race fans. I love you. Thanks.
There he is, Kyle Larson, the champ.
First thing he said, wasn't sure if he'd ever be racing in a Cup car again. A year and a half ago, here comes his kids, Owen and wife Caitlin there, daughter Audrey. Wasn't sure if he'd ever be racing again. Being suspended from NASCAR after 2020. Been reinstated. A second chance for Rick Hendrick. And he has made the most of that second chance, both on and off the track. And now he is a NASCAR Cup Series champion.